But before that, we had a couple headlines we wanted to get to. I'm going to have Nate start us off with the first one because it involves his boy, Elon, and Neuralink. So, Nate, give me the explain it like I'm 5 breakdown of what's going on with Elon and Neuralink.
Absolutely. And happy to represent Elon Musk. The guy's crazy, but he's one of the smartest people in the history of human beings that I could probably attest to. One of his many inventions is the Neuralink. Neuralink is a microchip that's going to be implanted into your brain. So they're going to basically cut a circular 1 inch by 1 inch hole into your skull and implant a chip to help your...
I'm out on this already.
Yeah, you're out. Hold on, there's more.
Seacrest out.
The initial plans for this product is to help people with, any kind of decline in recognition. I guess, what's the disease where you lose your memory?
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, things like that. That's kind of like how it's going to be rolled out initially. But this product is very futuristic, as many of Elon's inventions have been. So what we've seen recently is this is going to eventually stream music directly into your brain, which is not far-fetched when you think about it.
So can I ask a dumb question?
Totally.
Say you get one of those, no one's even really discussed cost to my knowledge, but you get one in your brain. How do you pick the song? How do you change the volume? Is there volume or is it vibration? Like, help me out here, guys.
That's a great question. Yeah, man. Like, is it using your skull as the vibration? You know how all of our voices sound different to ourselves than they do to the rest of the world, and we all hate how we sound. And then we start a podcast, and you're like, "Damn, I have to listen to myself every week. This sucks." But yeah, it's how is that going to work? And will it make those boring conversations with the people that at work that you don't want to talk to better because you can just turn some music on?
And actually, you know what I just thought of? What about kid? Like, what's the age cutoff? Because a kid could get one and cheat on every test.
That's true. Yeah,
you get fed. I'm almost thinking it's like a combination. Like, remember Google Glass? How like
yep.
You operated it like I guess with your voice. I wonder if this is just plugged into your brain. You can tell how much I know about this. I'm just
it's. I think it's a very abstract idea. Like the fact that this is going to solve all these ills and fix and become this like on-demand supercomputer inside your already, biological supercomputer. I think we're a long way away from point A to point Z where that happens. I don't know how we get there as far as that goes. But I mean, it's interesting if it's going to help out with some, Alzheimer's type things and other neurological conditions. If it does that, then yeah, okay, now I'm listening. But I don't mind putting in headphones, honestly.
Yeah, it's a little crazy when you think about it. Obviously, the goal is to help people, but it is a little creepy in a lot of ways. To answer your question, Tuan, you think about anything really, and you see the ad on Instagram, 5 minutes later. I think there's going to be a correlation there, where it's really, you don't even have to really put the commands in. It'll kind of know what you're thinking, kind of go to that song. Like I want to hear, or I'm thinking of the Foo Fighters, for instance. We're going to talk about them tonight. And I want a heavy Foo Fighters song. And it kind of just narrows it down to 4 songs or something and kind of goes on autoplay. And you can just you can say skip, or kind of like your AirPods, your Apple earphones, you just kind of tap it to go to the next song. You tap your head or whatever, So I think the craziest thing about this whole thing is the fact that it's inevitable, and which is kind of crazy. But when I'm not doing the Podioslave nerd thing, I'm kind of geeking out on all Elon's projects. So I've been paying attention to this pre-launch. There was some public information on it prior to it being fully exposed and brought to the masses, and they're still figuring it out. But they've done trials on pigs, and they're going to be doing human trials by the end of 2021 of this year. So just like everything, the AI symbiosis is in full motion. It's just in a handheld device, and eventually it'll be in your brain. So it's happening.
Here's my hot take, which I think is not a hot take. It's very practical. This ain't coming out. There's no way this will see market. I mean, what if there's a problem with it? You call Neuralink customer support. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? This isn't happening.
My brain's on fire, guys. Can you fix it?
Yeah, is there like a fan that cools the, I don't know enough about it, and maybe I'm just being negative about it.
I think we're being old old fuddy-duddies here, right? We're
No
being
kidding.
get off my lawn. I'm never giving up my headphones, that type of thing. I think there's some merit to some of this. I'm not sure how much of this is going to work, but I mean, all these, if you had told me that I'd have a supercomputer in my hand 15 years ago, I'd be like, what are you talking about? So you never know, right? I mean, anything is possible. It's hard to say absolutely not to stuff.
That's the best way to look at it. And I do champion Elon Musk, so I don't want to, go the opposite direction and say I'm not understanding where you guys are coming from, but the best way to look at it, or any, product futuristic wise, is the fact that it's never, flash in the pan. It doesn't happen overnight. There's going to be a natural progression to get to the end game that we're talking about, where you're streaming music in your head simultaneously, or you're thinking of a song and it plays on automatically or whatever. It's really just I feel like all this stuff is just a matter of time, and it's weird talking about it now, but 10 years from now, it'll be so ingrained, whether it's this device or, jumping in a, not a floating car, but an electric car that's self-driving is, I think we're also about a year away from that. So all this technology is being built. It's really just about, regulatory approval. So self-driving cars is really being held up by regulatory issues. And same with this, as soon as they get FDA approval, this will roll out, believe it or not. So I understand where you're coming from, because it sounds insane, but it's actually going to go down.
So what if you have a really small head? Do you get a smaller one? And if you have like a really big head, you get a bigger one? What are the speakers like?
It's one size fits all, I believe.
Oh man, that may not work. That may not work. In the world that we live in today, nobody is one size fits all.
So obviously this is interesting stuff, but the tie to music is obviously the listening to music. Like that's kind of one of the marketing things that's being thrown out there. But also Lil Uzi Vert, the rapper, said he's getting one.
And his wife, right? Grimes. She's an artist too.
So yeah, they're all about it.
Didn't little Uzi Vert just like put a diamond in his forehead too?
Yeah, so maybe that's the stepping stone. First the diamond, and now
literally a stepping stone. Yeah, so that's exciting. We'll throw a little water on Nate, and then we're going to move on to our next our next topic here.